I grew up in a small town. It was very different and very, a lot of people talked, but I didn't talk to a lot of people. My childhood wasn't the easiest. I was bullied a lot, and my parents did a lot of drugs. This made my childhood pretty difficult because kids at school would ask me why my parents are the way they are. Small town, everybody knows everything. And that made that very hard on me and my two sisters. My grandparents and us were all very close. My grandparents made me go to church all the time, even though I didn't like it that much. My grandma and grandpa on my dad's side, I was the closest to, until unfortunately my grandpa Tom passed away, and that was the hardest time on our family. I was a pretty happy kid. I have two sisters. I have a twin sister who's in college, and then I have an older sister. She's 4 years older than me. We did a lot of fun things together. We had a camp. We did lots of fishing, and that was very fun. My parents separated when I was 9 years old. I found out after Boxing Day. Shortly after my parents split up, I was sexually assaulted, and I started getting very suicidal around 11. I was always feeling so alone and so different, and my family was always so different. I never had people around me who would understand my family and understand how we would go from talking and then not talking, and always just felt so alone and felt like something was wrong with me. When I moved to Arnprior, I was in grade 9, so that was a little bit of a jump there. Sorry, guys. I was still felt very different. I never really tried to have any friends. I never, ever tried. I got my first job when I was in grade 9. I was waitressing. I will never do that again. And then I got very sick, and I was always in the hospital. Nobody knew what was going on. And it made me feel different. I didn't know, again, what was wrong. And there was a long, long time being sick. 2022 was the hardest time for me because that was the worst time. I was very, very not good. And that December, I got in the hospital, and I was in there for 3 weeks, which was the hardest time of my family because my sister Cheyenne had to go stay with my nanny, and that was the longest time we had ever been apart. And we'd always lean on each other, and she'd always be there for me. And then my mom was always with me, so she could never see my mom either. I got out just before Christmas. That was the best thing ever. And then I started focusing on me and what I need in life and what I want to do. And then things started looking up for me. I wasn't so suicidal anymore. I felt like I had a purpose in life. And then my mom got sober in September of 2023. And I felt like, wow, things are so much better. And then my dad came back into my life. I was welcomed into this community. I was very closed off in this place, and it was very different. I didn't go to church a lot, except when my grandparents took me. And then I started coming here, and it was wow. But when I opened up to John and Vicky of how I felt and stuff, they really understood and just let me talk. And I was very grateful for that. My relationship with my dad is very different. It's more of I don't know how to explain it. It's just kind of different. It's not like my mom. I had my mom my whole life. My dad was always in and out of my life, so it feels like I'm always walking on eggshells that I never can explain to anybody because I don't know when he's going to lash out or, he's just different, and that's okay. And then this year, Cheyenne decided she wanted to go to North Bay for college, and now she wants to come home. And I'm so excited. I got into a relationship around that time, and it was very good. And then it wasn't so good. So that was different. And then just recently, I got out of this relationship. I started looking into colleges. I started focusing on myself. And I decided I want to go to college. And that is very scary. I do have to finish high school. But I will be going for police foundations at Algonquin. My life still has its ups and downs, and I'm still very grateful for the ups and downs. I wouldn't trade any of this for anything. Now that my mom's been sober for a very long time, we've gotten our relationship back, and we understand each other and understand when we need each other. And yeah, that's all I have.